Progressive hoodie time. All right. New Hampshire. I'm excited. I'm here to give you my predictions for what I think is going to happen tonight. Just going to give you the top five because I don't care about what happens beyond that. Okay? All right. So let's start with fifth place. I'm predicting that Joe Biden is going to come in fifth tonight. Now, I don't, this is a difficult one because I'm not sure where he's going to fall, but I guess the reason I'm thinking he's going to fall in fifth is because lately he's really just been having a tough time. He's even left New Hampshire like already as I am recording this at 7:58 p.m. He's actually already left the state. Like, so he's not even gonna like hang around and wait, talk to the supporters. He's just he's out of there, and moving on to greener pastures. So, and remember, in another video, I mentioned that he was out of the state. I told you he was probably trying to raise some money, find some people that could actually give him some money, because he is not actually doing that well in terms of finances either. So when you look at everything that's going on, you're losing Iowa, and how we saw the performance we saw in that debate, which was, let's face it, less than stellar. Now, he hasn't been stellar in any debate, so you would think, well, maybe that won't affect him that negatively because he's been awful in all of them. Let's be real. I know the mainstream media has tried to act like, oh, Joe Biden didn't do that awfully, right? It wasn't that bad, right? I mean, I couldn't understand a word he was saying, but let's be real. Like, he's very difficult to understand in these debates, and it's not just because of his stutter. Sometimes it's just the ideas that he's talking about are not flowing together well. It's not a cohesive even or idea that he presents to you. It just doesn't really make sense. It's kind of flimsy and falls apart. And so I personally think that Joe Biden has struggled in every single debate, but I think when you couple it with the result from Iowa, which was less than stellar for him as well, I think that really gives him a harder time going into New Hampshire. And then when you think about the fact that he does have this struggle with being cash poor, you look at how Amy Klobuchar has surged in the most recent polls that have come out, I really feel like he's going to be the one that's left the most behind from this. But I feel like it could be either way between these that I'm picking for my bottom two. So we'll see what happens. Fourth place, I think, is going to be Elizabeth Warren. I'm not sure what Elizabeth Warren's path forward from here is. It's not, I don't feel the same confidence to say she's done like I do with Joe Biden, but I don't see what her path forward is. I feel like the progressive wing of the party and the anti-establishment wing of the party has already coalesced behind Bernie Sanders. I think they've made that clear. He's got the most donations, the most volunteers, really the most grassroots support. And so I'm not sure where she goes from here. Now, at the debate, she did what I thought was a rather forgettable performance, honestly. And I thought that she was one of the worst ones, not because she was necessarily awful, but again, she didn't really stand out and do anything special. And I think going into New Hampshire, her best bet was probably not to try to win back those progressive votes, as I kind of thought she might want to try to do. The more I think about it, and I said it in the video too, like, her chances of doing that are pretty much slim to none at this point. She has shown her colors through everything that she's done, from stabbing Bernie in the back to backtracking on Medicare for all. I think that progressives are done. I'm certainly done. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. She needs to drop out and endorse Bernie Sanders for president. She has been a disappointment to the progressive movement at every turn. I don't care. Some of y'all out there may like her. Some of y'all have been following her since before. See, I didn't really get on to this politics thing really real serious until 2015, 2016. So I've never really known Elizabeth Warren as anything but a disappointment. Some of you guys have been following since before that time. Maybe she was okay back then, but let me tell you something. The only thing I've ever seen her do is people pressured her to get drafted into this movie, wanted to get her to run, basically, as the Democratic nominee alternative to Hillary Clinton. And she's like, nope, she doesn't want to take on the Clinton behemoth. So then it falls to Bernie Sanders to do it. All that time is wasted where he could have just jumped in. He's like trying to encourage her to do it. Everyone's trying to encourage her to do it. She doesn't step up to the plate. Then when it comes time for an endorsement, well, you're going to endorse him, right? You're going to endorse him, right? You're going to certainly endorse him. And you're certainly going to do it before, your home state comes up, right? Nope, doesn't do it. Doesn't do it. And I'm pretty sure he went on to lose Massachusetts after that. And I think a lot of people feel like that little bit she could have helped by giving her endorsement, and then not standing with Standing Rock, and then all that we've seen in this particular time. I've never known her to be anything but a disappointment. Voting for Trump's ridiculous military budget. I don't. I don't get what you all see in Elizabeth Warren. I've been over her. Again, maybe if you were following politics before 2015, 2014, 2013, maybe that's why you think she's great. I wasn't into it as much then, so all I've ever seen from her is being a gigantic disappointment. Anyway, so my third place prediction is going to be Amy Klobuchar. She doesn't resonate with me at all. I am not interested in her candidacy. However, I thought she had a solid performance at the debate, and I said as much in my video where I break down how I think they did in the debate and where I do my debate rankings from 7th to 1st. And so I put her in third there. I thought she really did do a solid job and really delivered. So we'll see how she does tonight, whether that's going to translate. We've already seen in the polls that came out recently, the ones that came out this weekend, I believe Saturday, Sunday, those polls, they showed increased support for Amy Klobuchar. And in fact, I believe in one of those, she was in third place. We as Bernie Sanders supporters may have Amy Klobuchar to thank when this is all over, because I think Pete Buttigieg's bump, his rise for stealing basically the Iowa circus, would have been higher if not for Amy Klobuchar being another centrist alternative. She's basically splitting that centrist vote. So we kind of have her to thank for that. All right. Second place, I believe, is going to be Pete Buttigieg. With the big caveat being that, they might try to steal the election, and so then he might be first. And I don't know why you're laughing, because that wasn't a joke. Anyway, if everything is run on the up and up the way that it should be, he will finish second. Okay? Make no mistake about it. If he wins, it is rigged. Okay? Buttigieg is going to finish second. He stole Iowa. Good job. And so, no matter what you think, even if you're one of those people that's like, oh, I'm so naive and so trusting of our government that has stolen elections around the world, has rigged elections and kicked people out and overthrown people and done illegal coups around the world, I so trust this government to run our elections honestly. First of all, that's crazy, but okay. I so trust our government to run it honestly that I know that, they didn't actually try to rig it. It was just all incompetence in Iowa. Even if you believe that, he still stole it. Because he went out into the media at 0% reporting and was like, I won! Yay! So I don't care. He stole it regardless of your definition. All right, so anyway, first place I'm predicting will be Bernie Sanders. I think he is going to run away with it. The polls seem to clearly show that the favor is on his side. Believe it or not, Pete Buttigieg did not have any of the polls spiked before this New Hampshire primary, so that's good. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you all have a good evening. We'll tune in later. I'll be back maybe later tonight or tomorrow to see how accurate I was and kind of break it down. All right, have a good night, and good luck, Bernie Sanders.